Hello and welcome to InSight. I'm Wendy Brokaw.
And I'm Mary Louise Van Natta.
The subject of mental health is something that people feel so concerned about talking about or even thinking about, especially if there are people within their families or even themselves that they want to know more about specific problems or whatnot. But one-on-one, that's what we're going to be talking about today. We have with us people who know how important that one-to-one feeling is about confronting and resolving issues involving mental health. Would you please welcome with us in today Project ABLE, two guests who have a lot of information to share with us. Welcome, please.
Thank you.
You are Barb McDowell.
Yes.
And you are the Executive Director. And Tina Smith.
Yes.
Well, please, thank you very much for joining us today. Give us an idea, what is, first of all, how long have you been in business as Project ABLE?
So first of all, thank you so much for having us. We're really excited about this.
We
are. Yeah. And Project ABLE has been in existence since 2003, so quite some time.
Oh, yes.
And since then, what we focused on is supporting people with mental health issues in their own personal recovery from mental health issues. And that may be a somewhat foreign concept, but at Project ABLE, we believe that recovery is possible, and we see it all the time at Project ABLE.
And how did you get involved with Project ABLE, Tina?
When I went to Project ABLE, I got lots of support. It totally changed my life. I'm going to say it saved my life. Because at the time, I was diagnosed with a chronic condition, let's just say it, multiple sclerosis. And the medicine was making me ill, so I was in bed for a few years. So I was isolating, and that's why I had deep depression going on, of course.
That's a very important thing that people perhaps don't realize, that chronic pain and the debilitating feeling that goes with it can bring terrible frustration that leads to depression. Am I right about that?
Absolutely. And Project ABLE works with individuals who are struggling with depression and anxiety, which so many people have difficulties with, but also those with very serious mental health issues, bipolar, schizophrenia, hearing voices. It runs the gamut. And the interesting thing about Project ABLE is it really doesn't matter what your diagnosis is. No. We don't even ask what the diagnosis is.
Really?
No,
yeah.
no labels.
Why is that important?
No.
Why don't you?
Because once you're labeled something, it can be really difficult to get out from under that. So at Project ABLE, we accept each individual as an individual, and what we do, the primary work we do, is to match that individual up for one-on-one support. It's called peer support, which is what Tina had mentioned, and that is one-on-one connection with another individual who has walked that same journey, who has had that experience, and who can support that individual in a way that really no one else can.
Well, and I was originally told that I was diagnosed with bipolar, and I was originally told that if I reached maintenance level, that would be successful. Maintenance level. And I learned at Project ABLE there is recovery. I'm way past maintenance level. Oh my gosh, I wish I had time to tell you everything I'm doing now. And I'm not isolated any longer, and I have my own voice.
Is there training for being a peer?
Yes.
How does that work?
There is. There's something called Peer Support Specialist Training, and Project ABLE was the first in the state to be certified by the state of Oregon to provide that training. We've trained hundreds and hundreds of people to do this, and it's a 40-hour-long training that individuals can go through, and it can be life-changing in and of itself. Just going through that, it's a really great chance for people to look inward and think about their own self and how they communicate and connect with others. So that's a wonderful training for anybody to go to, and it allows people to provide peer support to the hundreds of people that we support.
Is there an obligation of a certain amount of time that they have to commit to it?
No, no.
Really?
We ask that they do volunteer with Project ABLE if they receive a scholarship, or outside organizations will send people to train through Project ABLE, because peer support has actually gained quite a bit of popularity because it is so effective.
Yes, it can be book learned, but when it's your personal life experience, I think it goes deeper, because you know where that person's been and the road that they're walking on and how difficult it can be. And I just love to share how my life is so much better, because I really thought there was no hope, and there is so much hope now. It's unbelievable.
What were some of the barriers that you faced before you got involved with Project Able? I mean, as far as being here in the Salem community, and for the folks that are watching our show today, is what kind of things would you like to tell them to help us, better understand how
What
to
you
help
went
people?
through.
Yeah.
Well, my highest weight was 471 pounds, and that's a barrier. I hate to say, but it is. And that leads to isolation and depression.
So having people see maybe a little beyond the physical then, and understanding that doesn't always, there could be more things going on in people's lives than just what we see.
Well, most definitely. Many people, I think, that have mental illness probably have had trauma in their lives too.
Oh.
I mean, I'm not saying that's the cause, but I personally had severe trauma in my life. And trauma and mental illness, it can look very similar. So it's hard to, I think some of them go together. But Project Able helped give me the skills I needed.
Thank you very much for sharing your own personal story about this, but I also get the idea that now you think of yourself as rather in charge of your own path to wellness and your path to
Well,
risk.
and she's also a leader. She's also
And
leading
you're-
others down
Yeah.
the road.
Almost
Which is,
definitely.
Do they draw inspiration from your story?
Well, I certainly hope they do. No, they do. A while ago, when I was doing a lot of peer support, people thought my life was so perfect. Someone said that, and I'm like, really? And then I realized I need to start sharing more of my life experiences and where I've come from, so they don't realize I've not always been like this.
And that's the beauty of peer support, is sharing that experience and being able to connect and empathize on a different level.
and see that there's something on the other end of, of the loneliness and sadness.
And getting rid of labels and just saying, we don't need labels here.
Absolutely.
They're not part of the Project Able story.
Yes, exactly.
Well, and I love that Project ABLE, the acronym ABLE stands for a better life experience, and I most definitely did receive that. My life has totally changed for the better.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today on InSight. We hope to have you back sometime.
Thank you. We really appreciate that.
And thank you for joining us today on InSight. I'm Wendy Brokaw.
And I'm Mary Louise Van Atta, and we'll see you next time.
Recovery from mental health issues is possible. It happens every day at Project Able. Through one-on-one peer support and wellness classes, people's lives change. Individuals at Project Able receive unconditional support that embraces human dignity, celebrates personal empowerment, and promotes recovery. Peer support provides hope. It connects you directly with someone who has experienced and overcome the same challenges you may have experienced. Peers are there to listen and to walk beside you in your recovery. Because they've had similar experiences, peers can relate to what you are going through like no one else can. You lead the process, and you decide what you want and need out of peer support. It is your own personal journey, and you get to choose your own path. Recovery-based classes and activities also take place every weekday in Salem and McMinnville and range from yoga and movie nights to self-esteem supports and healthy living classes. All supports and services are free and open to anyone 18 years and older. To learn more, stop by one of the offices for a personalized Welcome to Able orientation or go online to projectable.org. Project Able, a better life experience.